I intend to show you the fastest way possible on how we can upload a Lumen API to any shared hosting provider. I'm going to be using Hostinger, but for the other ones it should be straightforward as well. There's going to be two methods that I'm going to be presenting to you. The first method is just uploading it via FTP or an FTP client like FileZilla. The second method is using the integrated Git feature of Hostinger to download it from GitHub directly or from any other source repo, which is the one I'm going to be using. But don't worry, I'm gonna share both methods with you. I just prefer the GitHub one a little bit more because it's quicker and you can automatically pull updates, which just warms my heart. So, before we get going, do not forget to take a sip of your lovely beverage. Ready your hosting account, GitHub, and your little fingers. And let's go. Let me welcome you to the Hostinger dashboard. The first step we have to take is to go into our web space and let's create a subdomain here. You do not need to create a subdomain, you can just upload it directly onto the space. To create a subdomain, just scroll down and click on subdomains. Then pick the domain of your choice. I mean, in this case, I have my small domain with which I do some projects. And let's type in the name. Let's call this Books API. Yeah, that seems fine. For anyone that's especially curious and wants to see where the files have ended up, go to Files, then go to the File Manager. You can pick the better one or the normal one. Then click on Public HTML, and we see here's our Books API folder. This is the folder that we're going to be using later on. So the next step is to start FileZilla or any other FTP or SFTP client you wish. Do not worry that mine's in German, the fields should still be the same, and we're gonna minimize this. Then we need to go to Files, FTP accounts, and don't worry, everything here is like grayed out, that's really important. So we take the FTP IP here, paste it in, we take the username and paste it in, then I enter my password and the port. And if I did everything correct here, we should now be connected. Yes, perfect. Next step, go to the public HTML folder, public HTML, I don't know why they nest two inside each other, if any one of you knows, tell me. Then we see a Books API folder. Open up a project in PHP Storm or your other IDE. I do the right click thing, go to Open in Explorer. For Books API now, open in the Explorer, we go in, we just generously take, I don't know, we can like take the entire thing here, pull it, and drop it over here. And that's the entire process. While this all is transferring, let's take another sip of this high quality tea, I guess. And now comes the slow and painful process of waiting for all your files to transfer. Take this time to think about your life, or to ask yourselves why you haven't uploaded this to GitHub already. While these files are transferring, we can hop on back over to our dashboard, go down to databases, and create a new database, because we're going to be needing this to store all of our API's information inside the database. I'm going to name this Books API, and the user I'm just going to name as Sebastian. One important thing with the password is that it shouldn't contain a hashtag. Now with everything here set up, we can just click create, and our database should be ready in a few seconds. Keep this tab open, because we're going to need to be pulling all of those informations later on when we set up the .env file. The next important step is that we go to Advanced, PHP Configuration, and select the PHP version 8. Then click on Update, and the PHP extensions and everything else should already be good to go. While I'm at my third cup of coffee and FileZilla is still uploading my files, we can establish an SSH connection. Let's go to Advanced, go to SSH. You might need to unlock the Manage SSH section here. Let's copy this command. Then open up your CMD, putty or whatever. Paste this command. Yes, allow the footprint, the fingerprint, not the footprint. Enter the password there. If we type in ls, we can see the file structure. Let's cd into our public HTML, cd into the public HTML again, and cd into our Books API. Then hit ls, and we should see that there's our files. Now we need to still wait for FileZilla to complete uploading all our files. How tragic. Just seeing how long FileZilla takes to upload makes me wholeheartedly recommend the second version. Get your project onto GitHub or any other provider and upload it that way. Please. Your hosting provider has a really nice set of bandwidth that you can use to almost instantly download your project, I think. So please take advantage of that. Please go with the GitHub variant. I've been waiting here for half an hour while recording and I honestly don't know what to do. There's still 3,000 objects left to be transferred, and my computer won't stop making awkward sounds. The This has been day 484, waiting for FileZilla to finish my uploads. The tea has gone cold. My hands are shaky and I don't know what I should do. Please use the second method, save yourself the time, and let it spark joy, please. So now that FileZilla is done, let's get to working on our env file. We need to change some stuff here. First grab your website URL and plug it into here. Then the MySQL sections are perfect, besides the fact that you need to fill in these data points here. For me it's relatively simple. Just add all of the information from here and paste them over here. Please make sure that the password does not contain a hash, because if it does, pain will come your way. Because this will happen. You will see access denied, even though you entered the correct password. So after changing the password and hitting save, I now need to run php artisan cache clear to clear out the cache, and then php artisan migrate, which is finally working. Grab our subdomain. Now throw it in here. And perfect. This is working. Now we go to the public folder and we see Laravel Lumen. Let's just write a quick htaccess file so that we automatically get redirected to the public folder without having public stay here. The easiest way to find this redirect is literally to type in htaccess lumen GitHub. Click on the first thing that pops up. I will have this in the description as well. Let's copy this entire thing. Go over here, create a new file, call it .htaccess, and hope you spelled it correctly, and paste this in here. Hit save, and that's it. Now if we come over to our API and omit the public, yes, we're still at the correct page. And last but not least, let's get to testing the API. Let's hop on over to Insomnia, type in our domain with /books or your route, and hit send. It should return the status code 200, okay? And it's working. Now, let's get to method 2. Welcome to the far superior method 2, which uses a combination of hosting as Git tool. You can also do this via SSH if your hosting provider does not offer this, or like a dedicated Git feature here. You can just literally clone the project into the directory that we're going to be making. The first step we have to take is to create a new subdomain. Let's call this book API and create this. If you now go to the file manager, open it up, and look, we see that we have in the public HTML folder, there's our book API folder. Now we come down, scroll to Git, and scroll down till we hit this repository thing here. Then we hop on over, grab our repository URL, paste it in here. We take the master branch because we currently do not have any other branch. And then we type in the directory name. In this case, the directory name is Books API. Just so that I don't misspell it, I'm just gonna copy it here and paste it. Now we can create something that pulls it down for us. Now we can literally just go onto deploy, click yes. Then we can go into our Books API folder and we can see that our entire application has been transferred over here. The last thing we need to do is go to the SSH access, copy this link here, or you can also use the information up here to make a connection via PuTTY. I'm gonna open up CMD, paste this in here, enter the required password, and hope that's not wrong. Nice. Now we cd into the project folder, public HTML, I don't know where they nested two inside each other, and we go to the Books API folder. What we now need to do is literally just run composer install, because it doesn't come pre-installed. If you get an error here that says that your PHP version needs to be 8 or higher, you can do this by going to the advanced tab, PHP configuration, and make sure that PHP version 8 is selected, because Lumen can have problems with lower PHP versions, and you will see an error in your SSH shell when you try to install it. Nice, now that we're finished with this, let's hop on over to our file manager and to a file thingamajig. Let's hop on over to our file manager and copy the .environment file because we need to set up our own. We could just copy the file into this directory. Now we rename it to .environment. The first thing we need to change is this URL. By going back to subdomains, we can just copy the subdomain here and we can just paste it in here. Take care to leave the HTTP or HTTPS depending on if you put an SSL cert on it or not. these settings for the database are alright, but now we need to create our database. Hop on over to Hostinger, click Database, MySQL Database. Let's give it the name of Book API DB and this of the user. For the password, I'm gonna type in something super secret that you're not allowed to see. One important thing with the password is that it shouldn't contain a hashtag, and let's hit create. Now with this information, we can go here, copy the database name and replace Homestead. Then we copy the user, paste it over here to the username. And last but not least, I'm gonna paste my password, which you are not allowed to see. Then we can save this and X out. After finishing the database setup, we need to migrate it. So go back to your SSH shell and type in php artisan migrate. And your migration should be complete. Let's give this a little test. Let's test if our Books API really works. And hit enter. And go to public. Perfect, we have this up and running. Last step we need to do is create an htaccess file. Just type in Lumen htaccess git. Click the first link, I'm gonna have this in the description. Copy this file. Go over to your thingamajig, type in .htaccess. Double check if it's spelled correctly. Paste this, save it. And now when we refresh and we take the public away, it's still working. Now for the final test. Now let's go to a books-API domain, test if it works in the browser. Nice. And let's hop on over to Insomnia, and it works. I've noticed an error where I first needed to make sure it works in the browser before going to Insomnia. That could just be an error that I encountered, but if you encounter it, it's good to know the solution. This has been my guide. I hope you've enjoyed it and you've learned something today. And if you have any further questions, informations, or anything for me that you would like me to do, then please just leave them in the leave recommendations in the comments. I'm happy to do this for you and to bring all my stupidly funny memes and everything in between. So yeah, enjoy. I hope somebody makes this into a loop. Bye.